Hey everybody, welcome to Hey We're Talking. It's me, Scotty D, Derek Tant, Bob Peel. They're all here. The gang's all here. Yeah. It's Hey We're Talking, and we're here. We're singing songs to you on Monday. No?
But now, because we don't like it, we want you to go, Scott. We're going to send you away.
Okay.
To never return again. Goodbye.
Like Drogon?
Like Jon Snow.
And Arya.
Goodbye.
And Arya. And Jon Snow.
Go. Okay, so today is Game of Thrones Monday.
Oh, look at this guy.
Is a recap of the season/series finale. I have a question for you guys
Derek's
first
face.
before we start.
He's already pained that we're going to talk about it.
Yep, we have to talk about it.
Yeah,
this will be one of our last shows for Game of Thrones. But if you had to describe the season finale, series finale, in one word, what would that word be? One word.
Go ahead, Derek.
I would probably use the same word that that Kit Harington used. Disappointing.
How about you, Scott?
Oh, I was going to say disappointing too.
You can't use the same one.
I know. That's why I was trying to think of something else. I was going to say it ruined, but it's more than one word. It ruined everything for me.
To me, I just considered it vanilla.
I don't even know if it was vanilla.
Plain,
just irritating,
man. Simple garbage.
Listen,
probably nonsensical.
Here's the thing, and I think Derek was in the same boat as I was, and that is, I actually enjoyed most of the season 8. There was a lot of people that were moaning and complaining about it. I mostly enjoyed it. I didn't have any beefs until the very last episode. I was just like, what? I just can't. There were too many things that I feel like before I didn't agree with a lot of people that said this. They said it was rushed, season 8. There's a kid behind you just walking into the... Did you see that?
There is a kid?
Matthew's right there. He's like looking in during the show.
I didn't even know.
Oh, anyway, this is another reason you should watch us on YouTube. You could see Bob's son just keep opening the door and looking in at Bob.
He's like, "Are you recording?"
Let me open the door again. Are you recording? Anyway, the last episode really did feel like they were just like, hey, what do we have to do in this last episode? Like, what things do we have to finish? I don't even know if we really want to give them all the answers they want, but let's just shove a bunch of stuff into this episode, and then that'll be the end of it. And a lot of the things that they did, you just went, oh, like when Jon Snow had to go back to the Night's Watch thing, I was like, what? Why?
We'll get into that. Let's not jump too far ahead. Derek, you want to start us off with the recap of the show, walking through it like we've been doing?
We'll recap it.
Go ahead.
It starts out because we're in the aftermath of the destruction of King's Landing, and Daenerys is screaming at the Unsullied, and she's screaming at the Dothraki.
Yes.
You know, in their foreign language, we're gonna just liberate the whole world. We just liberated King's Landing. We're liberators. We slaughtered half the people.
Right.
We slaughtered most of the people. So we need to go and we need to liberate the entire world.
And of course, the Dothrakis are like, yeah,
they're like,
murder,
yes.
heck yeah,
like, yes.
Right.
And so Tyrion quits. And then he quits.
He throws his little pin down the steps.
He throws his little pin down the steps.
He throws the pin down, and Dany's like, "That's treason.
Yep.
Go to jail."
Yep.
And so he goes to jail, and then Jon visits Tyrion, and he's like, "This is my queen," and he's like, "Would you eat?" He's like, "Would you destroy King's Landing?
No.
Like if you were on top of a dragon, would you have done that?" And he's like, "I don't know.
I can't say. That's treason."
I'm like, come on.
Shut up, Jon.
You got to go. Let's talk about Jon though for a second. So Jon's conflicted. He's got a lady that he loves, and it's his aunt. But he loves her regardless, and he's conflicted about that. And then, of course,
she clearly lost her mind. She clearly
we
went
all
off the
see
deep
that.
end.
But he's in that denial stage where like it can't be as bad as I think it's going to be. But of course, it just makes his character look terrible because and his character was kind of out of place at that point because he's always been one of good. He's always been trying to do good and trying to do right by people and all that stuff. And for all that to happen, knowing that the bell rang and all that stuff, and for Jon to go, well, it's still my queen. Well, dude, you just went against everything your character
it's
is
because
built up for.
He felt like because he pledged himself to her, he promised her that he would bend the knee, that he would be loyal to her. And so as a Stark, his stupid Stark stuff, even though he's not a Stark, he didn't want to go against her. He didn't want to, even though he knew he had to.
But he's going against everything that his character was as well. So the character of his character.
Don't you think he's kind of been that way through the whole thing, though? It always pains him to do the thing that everybody wants him to do. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but he finally does it. He kills Dany.
Which was an amazing.
Gives her a kiss and then kills her.
Says you will always be my queen.
Yeah, kills her.
That's the noise it made too.
Yeah, you just heard it. It was like.
Yeah.
Right. And then Drogon sees the dragon, and he's like, and then he instead of shooting flames at Jon, he destroys the Iron Throne and then flies away,
making a statement.
Like gastral reflux disease, and he just had to get rid of all of the.
Drogon was the real hero of the whole show because he burned down that dumb throne that everybody wanted.
He broke the wheel. Broke the wheel.
Let me say this though, as Jon. We have to talk about this because Jon finally does decide he's going to go do it. Grey Worm has been giving him the stink eye for 2 episodes now. Okay.
Yeah.
They're watching him. He walks up to this castle. First of all, he gives his sword to these unsullied people when he goes to see Tyrion. Okay. But somehow he's able to just waltz right into the old throne room with Dany. Nobody bats an eye. He the only thing he does is wakes up Drogon, who's covered in snow, at the entrance. Nobody's there to protect her. Nobody's even close by. It's insane.
They're not expecting him to kill her.
But Grey Worm has this thing. He already feels like Jon's no good in his book. Okay. Yeah. So it was kind of weird how he just waltzed right in there and was able to stab her. And talk about anticlimactic. I mean, seriously. That kiss and a stab, that's it? That's it?
Well, I see, so that piece doesn't fine. I mean, I wish we would have seen Arya kill her in a more aggressive manner.
Yes.
But if you want to just stick with the characters that were there, remember, Jon is super, super conflicted.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to do the right thing because that's what his moral compass is telling him to do.
Right.
But there's also this pledge he made to her that says, hey, this is my queen. I've got to, and I love her more than I should love my aunt.
Right.
So it was kind of, I didn't mind in the end, like, okay, how she was killed by Jon because that piece goes with the good side of Jon's character.
Right.
But I really would have loved like the Lannister crowd who didn't die by the hands of anybody we want them to die from.
Yeah.
I'd be much happier if Dany died by, Arya stabbed to the eye or something. I thought that would have been cool.
Yeah. Everybody wanted her to. By the way, this is one of the things that a lot of people bring up too, is that Arya goes and does this. Derek's going to know the name of it, like the Faceless. What is it?
Yeah, the Faceless Men.
The Faceless Men. She goes and does all this stuff. That's like, I think that happened over like 2 seasons. It feels like she was doing that. And never once again did she use that besides to kill the people that killed all her family at the Red Wedding.
Yeah, the last time we see Arya using her skill as one of the Faceless Men, it was in season 7, episode 1.
Yeah.
The very first scene when she kills, she had killed Walder Frey in season 6,
right?
But then she goes up and she appears as Walder Frey and kills all of them,
right?
In season 7, which was one of the best moments,
of
season 7 and 8 altogether.
So there were tons of people that wanted her to get somebody's face and go take out Dany. That would have been awesome.
That would have been easy.
That was one of the things that I was thinking were going to happen in season 8, that Arya would use her faceless man skills to kill Cersei or to kill Dany or something like that. But we never saw any more of that. Never. That was very disappointing.
and so then again, it's like, what's the point of having her do that?
Right.
And learn those abilities if you're not going to use them when they count the most.
I know.
Yeah. Just weird.
There's so many of those things, and I'm sure, Derek, you can tell us a whole bunch of them that happened like that.
I think that might be our little Friday show.
Friday show. We're going to go through on Friday. It'll be our last Game of Thrones episode we do.
We're going to do another one?
Yes, we're just going to go through the unanswered questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of Game of Thrones.
Today is just for the finale. So
recap.
So Grey Worm captures Jon, right? And all of a sudden, Grey Worm is like the most powerful dude of them all. And they go back to the dragon pit, and he's got Tyrion, and they're like, "You're a prisoner. You don't speak." And then
he proceeds to speak for 20 minutes.
Then he goes and makes on a speech, and because he speaks with influence. He's basically the kingmaker.
Yeah.
So they decide they're gonna figure out who's gonna be the king. Who's the king gonna be? And freaking Samwell's like, what if we just let the people vote? And everybody dies laughing.
Right.
And of course, Samwell, he was speaking out of place because he had a water bottle by his foot and didn't know what it was.
There was a water bottle in the scene?
There was literally a water bottle in the scene by his foot.
Who are these people?
You have to go over these things with a fine-tooth comb.
It was pretty obvious.
You saw it because somebody pointed it out. You did not see it while you were watching it.
I saw something weird, but I didn't rewind it, and I just let it be. And then as soon as I was done, bam, Twitter was blowing up.
Okay, let Derek finish. Samwell.
Anyway, he suggests democracy.
Everybody laughs.
Everyone laughs at him. So then they're like, "Well, we should decide. who's going to be the king. We'll let the lords and the ladies. We'll let the nobility decide who's going to be the king. It won't be through your blood rights. It won't be who's the heir. We're just going to decide who. It'll be like a form of democracy. It's like the electoral college, the electoral college for the king.
Okay,
right? So Tyrion, I think Edmure Tully's like, I think that I could be king, and then Sansa's like, shut up, sit down.
That was great. That just funny. Showed her how awesome,
how much she's changed from the very beginning.
So then Tyrion's like, Bran the Broken, and then Bran's like, okay, why do you think I came all this way?
Oh gosh.
Oh God! I thought maybe they were going to suggest maybe Jon should be the king because of his unselfish nature, which I thought would have been great.
Yeah, but the thing that's so funny is, on top of all that, so everybody else is like, "This is our king," and then Sansa's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm in charge of the North. The North will not be part of this."
Well, I'm going to speak on this. While I do that, you guys look at your Voxer because I sent the picture of the water bottle because it's just so darn hilarious. I guess that's part of my questions for Friday too. But yeah, she just decided the North will no longer be part of the kingdom. We will step aside. So now you've got your 6, areas of the kingdom instead of 7.
Yeah.
So, but
that was so stupid because also, Theon's sister, whatever her name is,
yes,
she also said she was never gonna let her country be under anything. So once Sansa was like, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm not gonna be part of this," then that would have if you were in real life, that would have made everybody else go, "Well, then we're not either."
Right? Yeah. Why? And nobody debated her. Nobody did anything. It was just okay. That's what she says. That's cool.
Garbage.
We'll just remain in the kingdom.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's one of my questions for Friday. Like, how does that make sense? So, but either way, Bran wound up becoming the king.
And then what did they say that Jon had to do? Derek, go ahead.
So this is what was really confusing to me, like in real time as I'm watching this, because all of a sudden the Unsullied and Grey Worm, they had, which I thought most of them were wiped out in the Battle of Winterfell, So, but anyway, they're all like, no, he must pay. Yeah. So even though Bran is the king
right,
of the Six Kingdoms, and even though Sansa is the queen of the North, they decide that in order to satisfy the Unsullied and Grey Worm, that Jon has to rejoin the Night's Watch.
So
First
stupid.
of all, why do we have a Night's Watch
anymore?
The dead are gone.
Yep.
They've made peace with the wildlings.
Yep.
And guess what? The wall is destroyed, or partly destroyed.
Yeah.
And then after that, the Unsullied are leaving.
They're not even staying. They're not even staying where he is.
Yeah, Grey Worm is going to the Isle of Noth. Now, I've looked up a map.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked up like what the map of like Westeros and that world looks like. Basically, if Westeros is like England, then the Isle of Noth is like India, Sri Lanka.
That's how far they are.
It's like so far away.
Right.
And it's going to take you like several episodes just to get there.
Right.
Why is he a threat anymore? Why do we have to do what we need?
Right.
So Jon has to go up north. And also the Castle Black is in the north.
Right.
So he's not even in the kingdoms anymore. He's in Sansa's territory.
Right. Yep.
What's to stop Jon from like stopping at Castle Black? Is Grey Worm gonna go to Castle Black to personally inspect and check?
No, he's gonna be on the other side of the world.
The funniest part is too, like at the end, like when they're starting to wrap everything up, and Jon's like walking with these two. Well, I think it was Unsullied, or who was walking him along? Was it Dothraki? I don't remember. Somebody was like kind of escorting him to the docks to go wherever he was gonna go, and like he looks up at Grey Worm. They have a little look at each other, and then Grey Worm's like, okay, let's go. And they start sailing away. He goes up on this little dock and he's talking to Arya, Sansa, and Bran. And I'm just like, somebody put this like a really funny meme about this in the chat. It was basically like, okay, is he gone yet? Yeah. Okay. And then just Jon could have just stayed. Like, why did he have to go anywhere? It was so stupid.
Because he's a Stark and he's going to do what he's told.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
And so basically all the Starks are going to be broken up. All these siblings are, Bran's going to remain in King's Landing with Tyrion as the hand of the king.
Yep.
Sansa's going to be the queen of the north. Jon's going to be hanging out with Tormund at Castle Black. And then Arya's going off to discover America.
Arya's just like, hey, I'm just out of here. That's the other funny thing is Tyrion's like the hand, right, of Bran. And they bring these people in like one at a time to sit around this table. And they tried to make it like this little funny moment. And I was just like, this is so dumb. So dumb. Like Bronn. We need to make some more whorehouses.
Brothels, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, good grief, really?
I thought it was a poor attempt to make to use light humor and kind of lighten everything up.
Yeah, you don't need to lighten anything up. This is supposed to be the last 10 minutes of the episode is supposed to be the most intense craziness, or the last half of the episode. Like, okay, here's where all the big decisions are going to make. This is supposed to be, as viewers, our heart's supposed to be beating like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Yeah. These characters that we've watched for the last 7 years, whatever it is, it's like, what's going to happen? What is their fate? What is going on? And yeah, to add that light, stupid humor in there and all that stuff, it's like, no.
It's pretty silly.
At this point, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Now, Game of Thrones has done that in the past, and when they do humorous things, it lands really well. But it just seemed seemed forced, and it seemed out of place, and just it was weird. And Bran is also the three-eyed raven, so he should have a little bit more insight as to what's going on. Why is there even a small council? Why isn't Bran the master of whispers?
Exactly.
If he can just be anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
He's Varys called all his little kids his little birds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bran has literally little birds that he can work into anywhere in the world, and he can figure out what's going on. Be your own master of whispers.
Yeah.
It's not like you've got a wife to attend to, Brand.
Exactly.
It's not like you've got anything else to deal with.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a very, as you said, disappointing ending to the show. And one of the things that I was thinking about, like, when you've watched a show for a long time and it's a very good show that everybody loves, usually like that final episode, you're a little emotional about it. I had literally it didn't move me in any way, shape, or form. I was just kind of like...
it was disappointment, just like you guys said. You know, it was like, I feel like the story's not told.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they just ended it. Like, you know, kids do that sometimes when they write papers for school.
Yes,
you know,
it'll just be done.
First
You're
page
like,
and
what?
a half, the first page and a half is good.
Yeah.
And they've got to make it a 3-page paper.
Right.
But page, you know, 2 or you know, 2.5 to 3 is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what they just did. They're like, oh, we're writing. This is beautiful. Man, my hand's tired. I got to finish this. Done.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It would be interesting, like maybe 10 years from now, after this has been gone for a long time, if those guys if we could just kind of get an insight into if they could look back now 10 years after it happened and be like, yeah, we pretty much screwed that up. But
why did you only have to do 6 episodes?
I have no idea.
You know, I mean, I understand it costs, you know, payroll and this and this. I understand it costs a lot of money, but they made a lot of money off of Game of Thrones.
Like I read something.
Beers and wines and figures and
there was like 19 million people that watched the final episode, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so many people subscribe to HBO.
Right.
Which reminds me, I got to cancel that. Subscribe to
That's
HBO
so
just to watch the show. And
right.
This and this and that. So it's like, the money's there. You're making money.
It is.
So don't stop. Why do they do it in 6 episodes and cram everything in where they could have extended it 2 more episodes?
Yeah.
And been able to tell the whole story.
They didn't make wise use of their time in the beginning of the series either. In the first couple episodes, there was a lot of putzing around, which at the time it didn't bug me because I thought, oh, they'll get to it. They'll figure it out. But it seems like they spent a lot of time on meaningless stuff that they should have given us answers to. So, Derek, I'm sorry. I'll let you have the final word, Derek.
Okay. I feel bad. I mean, I really feel bad because I wanted to just love every bit of it. The creators, the showrunners, they created a beautiful world. They created this universe. They set this whole thing into motion, and for 7 seasons we were whisked away into this magical, I mean, brutal, crazy world, and they just kind of fell off whatever standards they set, and it's their own fault because they created such a high standard.
Yeah.
They made it so great, like the great characters, great storytelling, every bit of it was top notch, and then this season, like nothing. It just kind of fizzled out. Nothing landed. The character development didn't go. You know, all the payoffs that they set up did not pay off in the way that they were teasing, I guess.
Right.
So it's disappointing, you know, and I hate to disparage these guys because they did such a good job in the past, but everything just kind of, it was like they just dropped it. And
I don't blame any of it on the actors or actresses. They did a great job.
No.
They did, they were awesome in their roles, and I believed in, the characters that were developed throughout the show. I believed in those characters because the actors and actresses did such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the writers, directors just got bored. They're like, hey, we've got this other show we got to start producing. Can we wrap this one up? And they just finished it up.
Yeah. Derek, when did was season 7 and season 8 without anything written by George R.R. Martin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that explains a lot because they were given the source material for all those seasons.
Yeah, but he advised them.
But he advised them and told them, "Hey, this is what my ultimate goal is with this."
Yeah.
Like I think Danny actually burning everything down was part of his plan. That's what he has written, or that's what he envisioned but you guys don't feel that she was rushed. But it was over there was a lot more detail of things she did that led to that moment. Yeah. So that was the ultimate goal for her. The plan for her was to burn down King's Landing, but because they rushed everything, she got there too fast, and it didn't seem authentic. It seemed rushed.
Of all the things that happened in that show, though, sorry, Derek, of all the things that happened in that show, Dany becoming crazy to me was not that big. I know a lot of people are hung up on that, but I'm like, she was been crazy from the get-go. Yeah. She's always had something. She's always wanted that throne so badly.
Right.
When we come back on Friday, I know we'll discuss the series as a whole and maybe some of the unfinished plot lines, story arcs, things that were built up and teased up that we never got to see the full fruition of.
Yeah.
And leaves it very unsatisfying. So if you ever go back to watch Game of Thrones, there's going to be things that we see that we think are being built up to something that never materialize.
And we'll cover a lot of that on Friday's episode, because I've got 22, 23 questions if we get through them all. But some of them will be quick, just read overs, and we'll all laugh at it. But I mean, the reality is, when this series ended, there is still a lot of unanswered questions, and the story is just hovering out there right now. So
we'll take a break on Wednesday. We'll wing it. We'll talk about stuff on Wednesday. We'll have a little bit more fun, and then we'll be back on Friday to depress the crap.
We'll be in sackcloth and ashes for Friday.
Yeah.
So, by the way, do us a favor. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the little bell. You can see our episodes every day. They come out on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to watch us, you can do that. And we are on every single stinking podcasting app you can think of. If you just want to listen to us in the car on your way to work or whatever. If you're just laying in bed and you want to listen to us, whatever. We'll jump in. We'll jump in bed with you. Why not?
Yeah, let's go. Scott's a great cuddler.
I am. I'm soft. So thank you again. We appreciate you guys for listening and supporting the show. We thank you for supporting Numa Coffee and buying coffee from Chris Bean. We love the guy, and he makes great coffee. So get on over there. Coupon code HWT, 20% off. All right. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Come back on Friday. We'll pick up this conversation on Wednesday again. Some tomfoolery. We'll just be all over the place on Wednesday is my guess.
Do you have a guest named Tomfoolery on the show?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I never know. Are you supposed to say tomfoolery or tomfoolery? People say townfoolery, and I think it's tomfoolery is the actual thing.
I don't ever use that expression.
All right.
Did you say tomfoolery?
I've heard people say townfoolery, and I'm like, no, I think it's tomfoolery.
I think it's township foolery.
Great call.
Press pause!